You know, I had my misgivings about episode 3, but in the end I thought that, maybe, I was a bit rough on the show after episode 3. Maybe I shouldn't have been that critical. But after watching episode 4, oh boy, was I correct. And oh boy, has it gotten way worse. I had many problems with the story and plotline in this episode, but also just the logical consistency as well as the animation quality and other things were far from up to snuff. I made many copious amounts of notes for this episode, but I'm not going to be here for an hour talking about this episode and ranting, so I will try to keep it short, okay? I will try. To start off with, first of all, I am very disappointed with the animation style in this episode. This might just be the same as it's been in the first ones, but I didn't notice it that well in the prior ones, but especially in episode 4, when on multiple occasions, for example, when the Noah girl character, which we get introduced to, says that Himiji, the maid, is pouting. It's like, she's pouting? I can barely see a change in her facial expression. Is that pouting? Okay. And then later on, as well, when she is supposed to make some sort of expression, it's like, it doesn't seem like she's even looking different at all. She looks the exact same. It's like, you're even specifically mentioning that she is emoting in a way with her facial expressions, but the drawing of the character doesn't seem to be almost any different at all. There's a minor change, but I wouldn't know that unless you actually specifically told me, and that is not a good sign at all. Moving on from the art problems I have with this episode, another big problem is definitely the lack of ecchi. Now, hold your horses. I don't mean that I want the show to have ecchi, and because it doesn't, it's a problem. No, but clearly, they have many scenes in this episode where it's supposed to be fairly ecchi from how it is sold to the audience, but it isn't, because the character models are not really made in an ecchi way, and with how the fidelity of the animation and everything, it doesn't feel like ecchi at all. It doesn't look like ecchi, but it's supposed to be based on the source material as far as I've understood. Meaning that they are adapting the ecchi portions from the source material without having the, let's say, the thick thighs and the nice features and costumes that make the ecchi scenes work in the source material. Just one-to-one adapting it while not actually adapting it properly. Making the ecchi scenes not really ecchi and just kind of weird at times in this episode. And again, that's just like, why? I mean, I guess it's because, like, the animation studio doesn't do ecchi, or they, like, aren't able to make characters in that way, maybe? I don't know. But it's, like, very odd that they are adapting these ecchi, clearly ecchi-focused scenes from the source material without actually making it look like ecchi, or feel like ecchi. At that point, they should have just scrapped any scene around that, and just skipped it. But alas. But yes, my main issue with this episode is definitely the storyline. Because oh boy, oh my god. There were so many things here, I'm just like, what the hell are they doing? Are they actually brain dead? Excuse me? So just to mention a few things. Well, actually, quickly, first, so in this episode, we get to know that, okay, Shinohara, he can't get new stars because of the red star lie, that he's a 7-star, but he can still get unique stars because those get taken away anyway when he wins. So now he's actually a 2-star, as he got the Indigo star from episode 3 in that game with the simp. And now we're thinking that, okay, maybe eventually he can be an all-color 7-star, which I guess is impossible for normal people, or something along those lines. And then we also get to find out that the green star that Ame Academy has, which is the academy he goes to, was apparently stolen via hacking. Because hacking, again, is just really prevalent on this island. They must not have good security. But yeah, and then there is this trial academy game that goes on in the entire episode. And then the top 5 from this academy game will go on to the inter-academy competition sometime later. And it's all about Shinohara just running around, trying to survive the trial games and not lose, even though he won't lose any stars, just because it would hurt his reputation, etc. So a lot of the episode is just him running around like a scared chicken, which is not that appealing either from a story standpoint. But to go back to the hacking point as well. So, okay, I was somewhat reluctant, but okay-ish with the hacking concept that, okay, Shinohara is a 1-star, so I understand why they have to introduce this hacking mechanic so he can survive against these higher level players at this time. So that was like okay-ish to me. But now apparently with some other student hacking the unique green star from Anime Academy's storage, and also his jamming is such being counter-hacked or whatever else, and his location being hacked and given to everyone in this episode. I mean, it just seems to show that, okay, it doesn't really matter what you do, because I guess many people in this Academy Island are just able to hack and exploit and change the system and the games as they want. I mean, if that's the case, I mean, that ruins a lot of the concept. I mean, what are the stakes in the game and the excitement around it if you know that, well, I mean, you can just hack this, hack that, exploit this, exploit that. I mean, that, to me, ruins a lot. Like, a lot with the base concept of what this anime is supposed to be, and what this Academy Island is supposed to be, around this entire game concept. And how do you create this Academy Island, having this game concept, but making it so susceptible to hacking that apparently a whole group of students around the island are able to hack the system, and hack the stars, and all these things. Like, what the heck? Huh? This is also made by like a billion, like multi-billion-dollar corporation, right? And they couldn't figure this out? Really? Okay, dude. Okay. Yeah, we do get introduced to the Noah character in this episode. She's apparently one of the 3 6-stars at Anime Academy, and she is very much a stuck-up thought character. I wanted to slap her silly from second 1, but I guess I can't. I guess I'm not allowed to do that in this modern day and age, so I guess I'll just send her back to the kitchen where she belongs. Insert laugh. Thank you. I can somewhat appreciate when the headmistress explains why she had to transfer Himeji to Anime Academy, which also happened in this episode. So those small portions there I can appreciate for actually explaining some changes and why they happened. But again, most of the episode, extremely convoluted and contrived, and just, it feels all over the place. The reason why this episode review might feel all over the place is because the show in and of itself is incredibly all over the place and fractured, and half the time I'm just questioning, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? What's going on with this? What's going on with that? Like, this doesn't make sense. Perhaps the absolute most insanely stupid thing here in this episode was the ending portion, which I was just absolutely jaw-dropped from. I could not believe they made such an incredibly, insanely stupid, contrived episode ending to force that to set up the plot for the next episode. It was absolutely just jaw-droppingly stupid. Before we get to that, I have another criticism based on that these characters, especially Shinohara, but also Himeji and like basically all the main cast, are supposed to be really smart, really competent, really intelligent as a whole, but they keep being and acting really stupidly, and just being retarded, basically. For example, when this Noah girl comes and basically forces Shinohara and Himeji to go into this trial battle to avoid being swamped by these students, when Shinohara gets his location hacked for all the academy students to see, and they all close in on him, and then Noah being like all evil, haha, my objective has been achieved. And then Shinohara being, what objective? What do you mean? What were you aiming for? What do you mean, what was she aiming for? Clearly, what you exactly just did. Are you stupid? Anyways, I'm ranting, I'm sorry. After this though, again, the absolutely most insane, stupid thing in this episode was the last portion when Himeji, after having been in this trial game with Shinohara, clearly, you know, it's incredibly important that they stay together and stay safe, because in the 24 hours that they have to complete this trial game, you know, they basically don't, I mean, they have to just stay safe, right? And there's no reason to take any risks that would jeopardize the trial game, or that would risk him losing the game, or otherwise just have something bad happen, right? So it's incredibly important that they don't take any undue risks. And still, Himeji makes cutlets at their home after school, and apparently they are out of cutlet sauce, because of course they are. And Himeji says that she will go to the store to buy cutlet sauce, because we cannot have any other sauce used, it must be cutlet sauce on these pork cutlets. So she goes out, and inevitably, of course, something goes wrong. She gets kidnapped or whatever else, and we find out that she now cannot lose the game tomorrow for whatever reason, exposition pending, and that's gonna be the plot for the next episode, I'm sure. But you're telling me that for cutlet sauce, Himeji, who is also supposed to be competent, left to the store at night when it is incredibly important not to take any undue risk, when they know that someone is after them in this game, and they know the amount of pressure and other people trying to infiltrate the academy and this game and try to get the 7-star. They know all these things, and yet she just, for no reason, goes out to get cutlet sauce at night, risking something like what exactly just happened. Oh my god, dude. I cannot with this anime. I cannot. So, I was determined after episode 3 to not cover this on the channel anymore, because it just makes my brain hurt trying to actually logically think out all the things happening in this anime. Short story here is that for me personally, this anime I am at a complete loss with. It feels all over the place, it feels disjointed, it feels mismanaged, it feels wrong in so many places, and lacking in so many places, and this episode was an absolute clusterfuck, to say the least. At least, in my opinion. And from now on, after this episode review, for sure I am not covering this show episode to episode, because my brain cannot handle it. It cannot. Oh my god. That'll be the end of this rambling, because I have to stop, because I'm just gonna get sad. That being said, what did you think of episode 4? Are you liking Liar Liar? Do you think I'm absolutely wrong and stupid for having all these complaints? Well, feel free to comment that below, and I'll be sure to hopefully not get beaten to a pulp by all the negative comments. Also, feel free to subscribe, hit the like button, and the notification bell to be notified of new content. I would deeply appreciate support for this channel here. That being said, I hope you have a nice day and keep watching more anime, and hopefully something better than Liar Liar. Bye-bye.